Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, here with my guy, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
Yo,
How you doing, bro? Good to see you.
same here, same with you. Looking like a NFL coach, like the conditioning coach, man. Look at you. Got the
Well,
hair slicked back, got the jacket. All right.
well, we could use a upgrade on the O-line coach. That's all I'm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to holler at Dave tonight. That's for sure.
I'm gonna scream at Dable after the clock management. We're gonna hit on that, everyone.
Exactly.
It is our Week 9 NFL preview. Before we even get started, two things that I want to mention. One sad and one rather happy. I'm going to start with the sad news first. College basketball lost an icon today, Mr. Bobby Knight, as I always called him. The best tirades I ever saw. Not just that doesn't sum up the man on any level, but a winner first and foremost. Cultivated some of the best Indiana teams, and even when he took it elsewhere, just kind of like part of my childhood going, whenever I saw the NCAA tournament with my grandfather, who was an avid college basketball viewer, it's like every tournament you just always saw Bobby Knight in there, and just some iconic Indiana teams. And I speak for the show here that our deepest condolences to his family.
Yep. My memory is always him throwing the chair across the basketball court. I got to give it to him. He's for his players. He's for his team. He's for the college. Isaiah Thomas, Keith Smart. I hate the Keith Smart shot because it beat the Syracuse Orangemen for a title. But still, undefeated team, man. 32-0. Yeah, great guy. Had his tirades, but we know there was a passion for the game.
Also had a cameo in Hollywood in Blue Chips with Penny and Jack. And we were talking off air about some of his players. Isaiah Thomas, undeniably, in my opinion, I don't think too many people argue with me, his greatest collegiate player. And
iconic.
Yes, indeed. Isaiah Thomas, second best point guard in college basketball history to only Irvin Magic Johnson, who did it for the Michigan State Spartans. But I just want to say my condolences to Mr. Knight's family. He's an icon, and he will not be forgotten.
No doubt. The general.
Yeah. On a happier note, I want to congratulate the Texas Rangers. Massive. They finally did it. They finally got their first World Series. And I'll just keep it a buck. I had to root for them for the simple fact that they disposed of those Astros. But, during our baseball shows, there was a buildup. Zappy had that little Texas thing. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Happy for Mike Zappy. I am. I was a lot younger when I got to see my first World Series victory as a fan. So I appreciate the loyalty that he has for his team. I am happy for a lot of the Texas Rangers fans that I'm friends with. Going to shout out Sylvia Sneed, Mr. Keith Woolridge from the NFC Beast family. Bruce Bochy tying Joe Torre in my lifetime as the only other manager to win 4 championships in my time on watching baseball. 3 with the Giants. He actually defeated the Rangers.
Yep.
And, he goes to Texas, gets it done. They did it as a wild card, but a very powerful wild card. As a team who was in first for a good juncture of the year. So, job well done. And they overcame a lot of adversity, bro, because Jacob deGrom gets a World Series ring.
Yeah, well-deserved.
Well-deserved for all his tormenting Queens.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Jacob deGrom. I am, honestly. I'm happy for Jacob deGrom.
Aroldis Chapman gets another one.
Injuries during the course of the year. He got dealt there.
Yeah.
Adolis Garcia was injured.
Aroldis Chapman got one again.
Aroldis Chapman got another one, and while it's a mixed bag, with our New York Yankees, yes, I am happy for Aroldis Chapman as well.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Nathan Eovaldi, former Yankee.
Yep. I'm happy for him too. I'm happy for other reasons. And everyone knows my feeling about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm happy that they won. 'Cause once again, another team from Texas that sometimes plays in AT&T Stadium has won a championship. The Dallas Cowboys still have it. So
Yeah. They're right there. They're right in the heart of that area, right by AT&T.
yes,
And
yep. So congrats, Rangers.
going back to last year with the Judge iconic home run,
Yeah,
the fact that they immortalized him there,
yeah,
I'm good with the Rangers. I'm
yeah,
happy for them. I am.
yeah. I am. I truly am. Because they've been close so many times in the
The Nelly
past.
Cruz
Yes,
play,
so
and
many
I had
times.
so much respect, and I said this on last show, like so much respect for Ron Washington.
Yeah,
He made a massive mistake letting Nelly Cruz out there.
yeah.
This team could have already won their first World Series going back over a decade ago. But congratulations. And this is my favorite time of the year when it comes to baseball because now we're going to have a lot of hot stove episodes. And our man Corey's going to be in here bringing it. Corey, man, he killed that baseball segment.
That's our Buster Only right there.
It sure is.
Our Tim Kirchin.
Yeah, Corey's been doing it. We appreciate him.
Yeah, that's the baseball man.
Yeah, he's contributed to the team. But
good.
without further ado, we're here to talk about football.
That's right.
Thursday night. Let's get it. Will Levis making his second career start after a fabulous debut, throwing 4 touchdown darts against the Atlanta Falcons. The 3-4 Titans, who suddenly are showing some life. And damn, those Houston Oilers throwbacks were dope.
I love them.
At the Pittsburgh Steelers, rocking a 4-3 record, but one of the worst offenses in the league statistically. Last week at home, got handled by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that historically has had their number, even in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett left due to an injury. We got to see Mitchell Trubisky. Pickett is expected to start. I'm going to start with Will Levis. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I thought he was going to ball out because I don't think anybody on the panel or contributors or friends of the show felt that way. But he made a liar out of most of us.
Yeah.
Hell of a opening impression. And in this very competitive AFC South, suddenly I feel that my preseason pick, which was the Titans, might actually have a little bit of legs here. Pittsburgh, it goes without saying that the reason that they have a winning record is because, number one, the kind of coach that Mike Tomlin is, and number two, the kind of defense that they have. Offensively, though, this is a team that is struggling. And I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup because I think what's ultimately going to come down to is many Titan games. Can Derrick Henry do enough to open it up for Will Levis? But Levis looks very capable.
Yeah, he looks good. That's the main thing. Will Henry open up the offense for Levis to do what he can do? Because that Pittsburgh defense, they keep a defense, and this one looks real good.
Yes,
let's see on the edges. Kenny Pickett did say, "I'm playing." I heard that yesterday. He said, "I'm playing." But he's got to. They got to run the ball because he's just not getting the ball downfield accurately. Taking too many hits. We have to see. They're playing in Pittsburgh with Tennessee. They've been handling Pittsburgh, so we'll see what happens. If Levis gets off early, Pittsburgh might be in for a long night.
Yeah,
they don't have the type of offense that can bring you back from 10, 15, 20 points.
No, this is a team that's got to make their presence felt early on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of confidence right now around this Tennessee team, and it's so funny how 1 week can change a trajectory or so much of what people feel. Yeah. Now, granted, they're not playing the Atlanta Falcons. Not shitting on them, but they're not the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good coaching matchup. Mike Vrabel, Mike Tomlin, 2 very good coaches. I'm calling for a defensive struggle here. I don't think Levis is going to have the same kind of success. I do feel that, like many other Titan games, if you hold Derrick Henry to 80 or under, you're probably going to win. And I actually think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I think Derrick Henry is going to be in for a long day. I think Will Levis and the Titans will keep it close, but there's going to be some critical mistakes that are going to happen. And you're going to say, okay, guys, second game as a starter. Not that I have a lot of faith in Kenny Pickett, but I do have a decent amount of faith in the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
1-point victory is what I'm going for here. I am going Pittsburgh 15, 5 field goals. Tennessee 14.
You nailed on field goals, so I gotta give you that much for real. I'm gonna go 2017 Pittsburgh. I think Pickett will. I think he'll do better. But I think I'm going 2017.
Are we going to get a Najee Harris?
I think Najee will get in the end zone.
That we saw in year one, because I'll tell you, man, he has regressed in a big way.
Yeah, I think he'll get in the end zone this time. I think we'll have a decent game. I think he'll get a 70 yards or something, 70 to 80 yards. But I don't see 100, 120, 130. I don't see nothing like that coming. He's just not the same guy. I don't know why. He's just not the same guy.
And the reason I got this thing so low scoring is because I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a field position game at junctures, but I also think you're going to see turnovers on both sides. I think both these quarterbacks are going to be in for not the most enjoyable day. I just think the Steelers have a better defense at home, and I don't see the Steelers losing back-to-back weeks at home. I don't.
And I think with Pittsburgh, it is inconsistent. Kenny Pickett is he knows the league. He's been in the league a couple of years now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And see, with Levis, he's had one game, and now he has to go against the Pittsburgh defense. He's going to see something different than what he's seen in Atlanta. Not
an easy task. I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers here.
Same here.
But I do think Will Levis is definitely proving that the Tannehill era is probably over.
Yeah, I thought they would deal Tannehill, actually.
Yeah, you got to find somebody who actually wants him, not to mention thing.
Right.
All right. This is going to be an interesting one. On Sunday, the first game of the day out in Germany. 6-2 against 6-2. You got the Dolphins. This is not a real home game, but visiting the Chiefs. Chiefs got banged up last week, man. Patrick Mahomes was playing kind of sick. A couple of lacerated fingers. Got to give the credit to Sean Payton's guys. The Broncos do not beat the Chiefs often, but they played a perfect game last week. And even Russell Wilson in his own right was shining. As the Dolphins go, I still think that they are a team that occasionally has a propensity for sleepwalking, but they could score points in bunches. And when I say score points in bunches, they do right now what the Chiefs used to do. Chiefs can still score. Don't get me wrong. They got the best quarterback in the world in Patrick Mahomes. I don't care how bad he looked last week. He's still the best.
Yeah.
Keys to victory, in my opinion. I think in the Chiefs' case, you don't necessarily want to get in a barn burner. I think the Chiefs' keys to victory are to actually shorten the game. Yeah. Chiefs are winning in different ways this year that led them to 6-2. You know, they're implementing the run game a lot more. Travis Kelce is still that dude. Make no mistake about it. But I've been saying it since the week 1 loss to Detroit. Yeah. My concern for the Chiefs and why I don't think that they're going to repeat this year is that you don't have the Tyreek Hill anymore.
Right.
Juju Smith-Schuster was a big loss for this roster. Yeah. It doesn't look like he's a big loss for him kind of being just another guy on a New England roster that's very imperfect. But for the Chiefs, he was very important. I like the road team, sort of. They're both road teams. But I like the Dolphins here. And I don't think it's going to be as close as others believe. I think the Dolphins are actually going to put it on the Chiefs here. I'm going 34-23. An 11-point victory for the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey's back, folks. He looked good in his first week back.
Big sick.
Yeah, and Mike McDaniel right now, it just seems like whatever he's rolling is working. Raheem Mostert something to keep an eye on. He is dinged up, but I
Right.
like the Dolphins here, even if Mostert doesn't suit, and I think he will. I think the Dolphins they need the signature win. They haven't had it yet. Buffalo beat them. Philly beat them. This is their signature win right now. They're going to get it.
They haven't beat a team with winning record yet, and they've been hot and cold. When they played a good team, it's like they just folded. Yeah, most of sat out practice yesterday. I mean, actually today. I mean, my fault. We don't know what we don't know what he's was bringing. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey is back, so that's going to show up that defensive backfield. But Tyreek Hill comes back. Well, I won't say come back to Kansas City, but he's playing Kansas City for the first time since leaving.
And it's weird because the first time back you don't get to go to Arrowhead, which is kind of off.
Yeah,
whatever.
But I think Tua's going to get a taste of that Chris Jones defense, man, and I think Miami's in trouble, man. That's the best I can say. I think they're in trouble, man, because I see with Miami, even when they come back in certain wins like they did last week, they started. So even when they played Carolina, they could start slow.
Right.
And you don't want to start slow. I mean, KC doesn't have the offense they had in the past.
But they're more balanced, though.
That's more balanced, though. Pacheco can run the ball. You got Kelsey. I mean, Taylor Swift wasn't there last week, so that might be why they lost.
Bro, when Denver played the Taylor Swift music,
yeah,
that was savage.
Yeah,
after Denver beat them. Wow.
That was savage right there, for real. They get 10,000 points for that one. I'm gonna go with KC.
Right.
I'm going 30-24, man.
Gonna be a good game, bro. And the thing is, it's a measuring stick for Miami because, as I already stated, Buffalo beat them convincingly.
Yeah.
And the referees, the Philadelphia Eagles beat them. Sorry.
You were right the first time.
Realized once in that game. I'm sorry. Bro. We know which way the.
Yeah. 10 penalties and none. Yep.
Shout out Tim Donahue. Just kidding, guys. The NFL is always on the up and up. All right. On to Sin City, speaking again. We have Antonio Pierce, former Giant great, making his head coaching debut against his former team as the Las Vegas Raiders, 3-5, host our New York Giants at 2-6. Giants and Raiders right now, both very bad teams. The Raiders basically just ripped apart their head coach and their general manager in one shot after an embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Detroit Lions. Yeah. And speaking of embarrassment, when you have a 99% chance to win a football game in the waning seconds in the MetLife Bowl, and you still manage to lose the game, yeah. I vomited and divulged on some of this.
Yeah.
With all I'm going to say is this. Some of those warts are showing on Brian Dable after catching the league by surprise last year, being New York's darling. Now he's New York's GOAT. And I'm going to say this right now. Right now, the man is coaching himself into losses. Yeah. And on the flip side, I'm excited for Antonio Pierce, a guy that I always had a world of respect for. There was some chatter that maybe Devontae Adams would have been moved at the deadline. That obviously did not happen. Yeah. And it goes back to the Raiders might want to really take notice here and see what AP has to offer, because last time the Raiders had an interim coach, they unceremoniously replaced him. Right. And it was not for the better. Rich Bisaccia deserved to be retained.
Yeah.
And, you got a different quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's getting benched in favor of Aiden O'Connell. It looks like a strong possibility Daniel Jones will be making his return. Tyrod Taylor recovering from a rib injury. Mm-hmm. Tommy DeVito, his arm must be sore after all those passes. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not even trying to be a wise ass.
These are just being real, man.
These are two bad teams. Who do I like in this game?
What's the over-under? -29? I mean, we had what minus 7 yards passing last week. I mean,
There's
anything's
a part of
possible.
me
Man.
that wants to pick the Giants because of how epically terrible that loss was last week.
Yeah.
We just traded Leonard Williams to the Seattle Seahawks, but I'm picking the home team here. I got the Las Vegas Raiders winning this thing. I'm going to go 20-17. I think it's going to be close. But right now, we have a kicker that's not healthy. We have a quarterback that I think we're pushing out too early. Our defense is going to show up and do what they got to do. The difference in this game is, I'm going to call it now, it's going to be a Daniel Jones pick six. I think we might outgame them. I think we might even outplay them. But the Giants have proven over the course of the last 3 weeks that outplaying somebody isn't a guarantee to actually win the football game. I'm going with AP for his first career win against the New York Giants.
Everything you said is right.
Don't want to be.
Yeah, everything you said is right. We should beat them. We should beat them.
I think so.
I don't know who this Aiden O'Connell guy is. Never heard of him until this past weekend. We're going against a quarterback. I don't know who he is. I don't even know what college he came from. I don't know nothing about him. We got a defense that's balling out. I know we lost Leonard Williams. They can't stop the run. They can't do nothing. We got Daniel Jones back. We got Saquon. We got a mashed up O-line. We should win the game. I'm hoping if we lose this game, I don't even know what to say. But I'm going to pick us to win it.
Okay.
I'm going to pick us to win 24-14. I know it's a big score, but I think Dable knows. Get your shit together. I like to see AP win his first win as a former Giant, Super Bowl champion, but I don't want to see him do it against his former team. He's playing with a mass unit of team. He's playing with a team that don't even know their names.
30-17 Giants. You convinced me.
There we go.
30. Let's go 30.
I'm going 30 also. 30-17 Giants.
Maybe somebody tomorrow's going to see
we
this.
lose this game, I'm jumping off the Smoky Park Bridge.
This is a pre-record, so in the morning when they see this pop up at 8:30, they'll be like, Richie's drinking that Homer juice.
Yeah, and I'm smoking too much weed.
The quarterbacks make their first start.
30-17 Giants. We better win.
For each team, as the 4-4 Minnesota Vikings travel to Atlanta to take on the 4-4 Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, sadly, one of the best guys in the league. Season ended, torn Achilles, and he was playing some really good football.
He really was.
He's being replaced by quarterback Josh Dobbs, who was actually playing last week for the Arizona Cardinals. He got benched during their loss. Vikings, at least for the immediate future, looks like they got a starter. I think this is a pivotal game for both teams because this head-to-head could actually come into play in terms of a wild card situation. It's messed up, bro, because I don't really like either team right now, but I like Atlanta a little more, and I'll tell you why. Taylor Heineke, I think he is the injection that this team needs on offense because Desmond Ridder ain't it.
The Riddler. That's what I call him. He played more like the Riddler.
But I think Dobbs is going to play well, too. I'm calling for a shootout, but I'm calling for an Atlanta victory. I'm going 34-31 in favor of Atlanta.
I'm going Minnesota, man. I think the defense is better. I think the offense all around is better. I mean, Taylor Heineke can lead the offense. We've seen what he did in Washington. You know, we see what he did in Carolina. He can play football. First start of the season. I don't know what type of reps he got. He got all the reps this week, but he hasn't played. And I'm gonna go Minnesota 27-20, somewhere around there. I'm gonna give a 7-point spread either way. I just think Minnesota has enough to win the game. But I think eventually, I think Atlanta's headed in the right direction with Heineke, though, because Desmond Ridder too many mistakes, man.
He's not it. And
mistakes.
I think the reason I like Heineke is because similar to a Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy that I'll bring up as always a guy who can start But whenever he's in a backup role, could be a great spot starter midseason coming in.
He's smart. He's
I
tough.
like Heineke for the good start, not necessarily the good finish in terms of what we're talking about a month from now. That's what leads me to thinking Atlanta is going to do this. And my other concern for Minnesota is I don't think they can get the running game going in the fashion that Atlanta could. That was another thing.
True.
But at the same time, I got them both putting up 30, so we'll see how it plays.
I could see it happening, though.
Neither result would truly shock me.
Yeah.
Well, we move it along to the interconference battle between the Ravens and Seahawks. I'm going to hit you guys with some less notables. I got the Saints beating the Bears by 14 in New Orleans. I got the Packers winning their first game since early September against a banged-up Rams team, throwing 310. I've got Chanel and Bretsky's Patriots beating the Washington Commanders, the only team that might have a worse O-line than the New York Giants.
Whew.
Tampa on the road by a point over Houston. I've got the Browns by 17 over a very bad Arizona Cardinals team. Idris, is there anything that you see flying across the screen that you disagree with or that you want to add to or any of that?
I think the Rams will score a little bit more, but I'm going with the Packers for the win. I think that Cleveland game is right, but I think Cleveland probably will score 30. If Arizona scores more than 7, I'd be shocked. Because that defense, that Cleveland defense is going to come at the court. I don't even know who that guy is. Another quarterback. Cleveland's going to go after him.
DJ Walker, who had some moments last year with the Tampa Bay Bucks, he found himself in the middle of a shootout with the legendary Tom Brady last year. Mm-hmm. He showed me some moxie. I think the biggest enigma with this Cleveland team is like you paid all this ridiculous money and reset the market for Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. But yet, PJ Walker is the guy who looks competent and the guy who is getting the most out of his teammates.
You know, when he played with Carolina, PJ Walker, I saw it in him. I said, this kid has the skills because he can run the ball. Decent arm.
Right.
He just never got the reps. You know, Carolina was all messed up with Darnell and PJ. You know, they didn't know what was going on until Steve Wilkes took over. But here in Cleveland, Walker looks good. He looks good. He looks like the guy they paid all the money to.
And you did mention them going over 30. The reason why I got the Browns not quite cracking 30 is I'm not assuming what the weather is going to look like on Sunday. I didn't see a weather report yet.
But it's in Cleveland, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
This is my thing. Mm-hmm. I feel that the Browns, if they're going to explode on offense, there's a distinct possibility it happens more frequently on the road. Because with this time of the year and as it continues to get colder and what Cleveland's going to look like, and no Nick Chubb, they're doing an admirable job with winning without their best player, which I think says a lot about not only the character of that team, but also the coaching, bro.
Kareem Hunt's been playing pretty good, though.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, you could tell he stayed in shape. You could tell he was ready for an opportunity. It's unfortunate that it took for his running back mate for the last X amount of years to go down, when in reality, most people are like, why weren't both of them just together?
They didn't want to pay him. Now they need him.
It's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. But, I like Cleveland. And this North Division in the AFC is very intriguing because now you got the Bengals who are playing at a high level after looking like crap for the better part of September. Mm-hmm. You've got a Pittsburgh team that even though when you look at their offensive statistics, they're right next to the Giants and Patriots in the doldrums. You're like, how are these guys on a winning record? But yet they do. Baltimore Ravens, Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of a very good Lions team. And then last week, they were struggling to beat Arizona.
And look at Cleveland.
You never know which
is creeping up.
Is going to show.
Cleveland is creeping
Seems like
up.
Baltimore plays good against the good teams, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. I still think Cleveland's going to put 30 on there because I think they'll get a defensive touchdown because Arizona had Josh Dobbs was all they had. He did pretty good.
I thought he did all right given how terrible the situation over there was.
Yeah, and now he's gone. And
I always thought he was a gritty competitor. I mean, Minnesota, you never know, bro. Minnesota might be a godsend for him. He might get. I mean,
even as a backup.
Worse. You have a lot. He's got some talent to throw to him.
Now
JJ's hurt right now, but you still got Jordan Addison. You still got TJ Hawkinson.
You still got he has something with him now. So who knows what this? And it's not like the NFC North is all that, I mean, other than Detroit.
Yeah,
Green Bay Chicago and Green Bay are beatable.
Are two messes right now.
Yeah, Green Bay and Chicago beatable. So who knows?
That's the thing. That's why I said that Atlanta game is pivotal.
Yeah, they gotta win. They gotta win.
For the Vikings to win that game and improve to 5-4, who would have said that a month ago? The way they started.
Yeah.
And you gotta give some credit to the coaching there. This was a finalist for Coach of the Year last year. Ultimately, that was won by Brian Dable. Mm-hmm. After seeing what I saw in the MetLife Bowl, I think that might have got it wrong. I'm not trying to be negative, but there's so much I could say. I just don't want to.
Oh yeah, I got plenty.
Interconference battle of two division leaders. We got the Seahawks at 5-2, traveling to Baltimore, Maryland, 6-2 Ravens. Ravens survived the trap game, as I just alluded to, over the pretty bad Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks won a game that I think last week is probably one of the toughest ones to pick when they beat the Browns. Yeah. Geno Smith had some signature moments. Played a pretty good game, to be honest. The issue that I've had with the Ravens all season long, even though they have won 6 of 8, is that you don't necessarily know what version of these guys are going to show up.
Right.
But in the end, they have a home loss to the Colts. They have a road loss to Pittsburgh. They're having a decent year. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is playing probably the best since he's won league MVP.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it now. I said it last week. Didn't come to fruition. It almost did if it were not for an interference in the end zone. We have an Odell Beckham touchdown sighting this week. And I think the Baltimore Ravens are not only going to win this game, but I think they're going to win this game kind of handily. Seattle gets newly acquired Leonard Williams into the mix. I think he's going to do just fine there, but I think it's going to take him at least that extra week to totally grasp what they do over there.
Yeah.
Baltimore's got the best kicker in the world, in my opinion.
On the planet, yeah.
16, 22.
Yeah, he'll kick it 70 yards if he has to.
Oh, he's something else. I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this thing 27-16. I think the Ravens defense is going to step up in critical moments. That Seattle backfield, even though Kenneth Walker has been nursing injuries and playing, I think the way this game plays out is that Geno's going to have to do too much. And when Geno does too much, that's not a good thing, and that's not the balance that we need. Right. I like the home team here. I think the Ravens are quietly having a pretty good season. And while Seattle is kind of surprisingly in first because of the recent 49er slump, I think the 49ers are going to sit on their couch and become tied for first place by just sitting on their couch.
I got to go with you. I'm with you. I'm going 30-17 Ravens. I think Leonard Williams. I think he'll have his moments, but he's going to have to still grasp the defense because Seattle runs a totally different defense than we ran in New York. Geno. Yeah, if you have to make Geno win the game, I mean he's doing good. I mean he's doing great considering. I mean he's balling out. I mean, but
I do see a fall off from last year's. Year versus what we see now, but he did play well last week. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, see, last year he surprised everyone, but no one expected Geno to play as good as he played.
No.
This year they're like, okay, we figured you out now. You ain't gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, I still think that he's able to do things, but he has to work a little more. Right.
Yeah. But I think Baltimore has too much. They have too much on both sides of the ball.
Baltimore's good, bro. Like that. Yeah. I said it the other day with Corey on the show. That division is so hard to figure because you really could send every team to the playoffs. That is a possibility.
They used to call the NFC North the black and blue division.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might have to pass that over to the AFC North because anyone can come out of that division. because Baltimore plays up to their competition and plays down to their competition.
That's
Now,
a concern. That is a concern of mine. But the bottom line is they've played good against the good teams.
yeah, that's the good thing.
And
They're
that's
not blowing big
good
leads like
stuff.
they did last year.
Right.
Yeah, I'm throwing 30-17 Baltimore. ODB. OBJ might get a TD this week.
Okay.
Yeah. The 3 letters, man. I think OBJ might get something. Hopefully, he can stay healthy, stay on the field.
Yeah, I'm feeling a play out of him this week. I like honestly, like no BS, not troll. I think he's a make play.
Yeah. Baltimore for the win.
This is undeniably game of the week coming up here. NFC East supremacy on the line.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys at 5-2. Philadelphia Eagles at 7-1. Cowboys coming off the dominant home win against a banged up Rams team, but no, they're part of the reason why they're banged up. Dallas played really well. Dak Prescott, to be honest, coming off the best game of his season. Philadelphia Eagles, they do get the season sweep over the Washington Commanders. But in my opinion, for 8 quarters, it looked like the same exact game as like the game 1, game 2, mirror images.
Yep.
Eagles winning 2 high-scoring games.
Mm-hmm.
Key to victory for the Eagles. Former coordinator Jonathan Gannon, the guy who coaches Arizona. Game plan against these same Cowboys bodes well for strategy. The way that they just mercilessly ran the ball in between the tackles against the Cowboys. Cowboys, in my opinion, since getting their bell rung by the 49ers, have refocused. I think their defense is starting to come back around. But more importantly than that, because the defense is going to be there. You know Dallas is going to play defense. What I like that I'm seeing lately is that I feel that Brandon Cooks is starting to emerge into the role that they envisioned him having, replacing Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. They struggled to replace Cooper for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Brandon Cooks has been very adaptable. This is a dude that has played on a bunch of teams. Mm-hmm. And if Brandon Cooks plays up to the level that I think he's capable of, and I also like the way that Dallas has been doing a very good job of implementing their tight end, and knowing that Philadelphia's defense is not as dominant as they were a short year ago. I actually think the Dallas Cowboys, going into Philly, they're going to snag a road dub here. I got the Cowboys winning this thing. I'm going to go 31-24. I got the Cowboys winning by a touchdown. Do I think Philly still has the best O-line in professional football? I'm going to say yes. Do I still think that they can do things with the trio of running backs that they have and implement that? Yeah, absolutely, all day long. I think the difference in this game, though, is that they're going to induce a couple of turnovers out of Jalen Hurts. Whereas I actually think Dak, even though on the road, one thing I got to give this man, he does own the NFC East. And last year, we were not able to see the Hurts versus Dak matchup. Gardner Minshew won a shootout against Dallas. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, excuse me, I'm wording this backwards. Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
We know how that played out. Mm-hmm. Then Minshew, that was another weird one. Mm-hmm. And that was against a better version. I like Dallas. I see it this week. Similar to what I said about Miami. Dallas needs this signature win. They need it. I think they're going to get it. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Philly wins on their house in a couple of weeks down the road. I'm just saying, this particular game, I like Dallas.
Well, Dallas can rush the passer, and they're good on the back end, but they can't stop the run.
That has been an issue. Yeah,
they couldn't stop the run last year. I saw what they do with Micah Parsons. It's like they run at his side because he always goes wide, and they go right at his side and zoom, zoom, zoom. They gash that left side.
Yeah, you try to take advantage of almost him being over pursuing.
Over pursuing, right? And Philly can run the ball.
That they can
run the ball.
That they can.
And Dallas has yet to show me that they can stop the run. that they can beat a team with a winning record and they can beat a team that comes at them. They hadn't done it yet. Arizona took it to them aggressively. Frisco took it to them aggressively, and they both blew them out the water. I'm not going to give them, and I'm not being a Cowboy hater. I'm not going to give them any credence on the Rams. The Rams are not a good team. Stafford was hurt. The team is hurt. I mean, Dak had a good day. They did what they were supposed to do. Just like they did what they were supposed to do against the Giants, the Jets, who else they beat? Whoever else, I can't remember. They did what they were supposed to do against teams they were supposed to beat, except for Arizona. I'm going for Eagles 30-24. I think Dak throws two picks. Hurts may throw one, but I want to see what Dak does coming from behind, which he has yet to prove. If that defense, like Shannon Sharp says, if the defense doesn't get scooping scores and interceptions, the Cowboys struggle. So I need to see what they do without the defense having to carry the load. 30-24, Philly.
It's a good game. That's all I got.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good game.
The reason I like these Cowboys, like I said, what worries me for Philly is that you're over here getting into shootouts with the likes of the Washington Commanders, a team that the Giants almost damn near shut out. And I get it. Different game, different week. I get it. But I am going to give some credence to that Dak Prescott divisional record in this one. I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Cooks, X factor in this game. We'll see.
30-24 Eagles.
Sunday Night Football. This is wild. This is wild. DeMar Hamlin making his triumphant return to Cincinnati after last year's game where he suffered a cardiac arrest. Game was canceled. They saved his life. A long road to recovery. And you really saw a lot of unity, not just between Cincinnati and Buffalo fans in the moment, but I'm talking about a league-wide, worldwide scale people that this story touched. It's amazing. Can't even imagine the emotions that would probably be going through him, going back to the place where it happened. I mean, I know how, Victor Cruz was when he went back to Philly after recovering for 2 years. That's an injury, though. Yeah. You're talking about a man that almost died in a very way.
Yeah.
And thankfully, he's okay because, God forbid, if it didn't turn out that way, I can't even imagine what T. Higgins would have been going through. Mm-hmm. They're just playing ball, and it was an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately, last year, from a familiarity standpoint on the X's and O's, the Buffalo Bills were eliminated in their house by these Bengals. Buffalo was depleted in their secondary and linebacking corps in that game. And Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs were on the same page. What I'm seeing from Buffalo this year is kind of like an extension of what I'm seeing from last year. My concern with Buffalo, they don't have a consistent enough running game.
Yeah.
When I think about what Cincinnati did, not just offensively, but defensively in Santa Clara last week.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the Bengals are playing better football. Yeah. I do. And I am kind of concerned that not only are they going to win, but this could be one of those games where they really clean their clock. Going back to last week's Buffalo win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inches away, they would have lost another game.
Yeah.
This is a team that defensively, I'm not believing in them a lot. I mean, they allowed a Mac Jones-led offense to come back and take it.
Right.
And I get it.
The length of the field at that,
I get it, dude. Divisional games, a lot of crazy things happen. And this is a week-to-week league.
Yeah.
But my concern for them, I think Joe Burrow is going to be doing surgery in that secondary with his receivers. And I would not be the least bit surprised if inside the 15 to 10s, you see Joe Mixon getting those hard yards. I like the Bengals. I wouldn't say a blowout, but I like them convincingly. I'm going to go 31-27 24. Only a 7-point victory, but I think the late Buffalo touchdown makes it look a little closer than it really was. I think the Bengals can take care of business here.
Yeah, shouts out to DeMar Hamlin. I was 8 years old when Charlie Hughes died on the field for Detroit.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that. I was a kid and I was like, my uncle was like, that man's dead. And I was like, huh? That's when I just started watching football. And he said, that man's dead. And I remember that's all he kept saying, that man is dead, that man is dead. And I remember the next day, they kept saying, and like 2 days later, I actually heard it. It said someone died on the field. I saw that game. He just fell. He got hit. He got up and just fell. And I was like, wow. And when I seen DeMar Hamlin last, I was like, oh, man. I think that was like 72, 71. I can't remember.
I'll be honest, man. The vibe I had,
yeah,
it was the most horrible vibe because I'm happy that I was proven wrong.
Me too.
But I legitimately did not think DeMar was going to make it.
I didn't either.
And
I really didn't.
Like the worst kind of thing,
Yeah, I was glad when they said he was, he couldn't really talk, but I was like, good for him.
Remarkable job.
Yeah.
That they did.
Fast acting.
Like fast acting, they literally saved his life.
Good act, yeah, fast acting. I think with Buffalo, just when you think they're ready to run away, they can't get out of that. Like the Cowboys, they get in their own way. Josh Allen with the turnovers, and I'll keep saying he's Daniel Jones with a better offense. I think he's missing Brian Dable. I think that Buffalo defense, like you said, is going to get toasted by Chase. I think Mixon, if he's healthy, I think he'll run between the slash, just gash him up between the holes, between the lines. Burrow looks good because in the early part of the season, he's like, oh, this guy is playing. He shouldn't be playing.
Right.
Since he's doing what they're doing, they start slow. Then they finally start gaining momentum. You're playing in Cincinnati. I'm going to go 34-24 Cincinnati. I think they'll pick off, like I said about Dak, I think they'll pick off, oh, God, I just said his name. Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen a couple of times. I think he'll just implode like he does. Yeah. I think they'll trail most of the game, if not all the game. Just be trying to come back. And
I do think he misses the lead, but at the same time, he makes people around him better regardless. That's the one thing he and Daniel Jones don't have in common. I think the problem with that team in general is that,
I agree.
Okay, hypothetically, and I don't want to see this happen. I'm a Giants fan. If you put a Saquon Barkley in that offense, they are complete.
My goodness.
They're complete. They're complete.
That take a big load off of Josh Allen.
Yeah, you take the unfortunate Damian Harris injury that happened a few weeks ago against our Giants. I like what Latavius Murray's doing. Dalvin's younger brother, James, I'm not really sure how I feel about him right now. I think Latavius Murray's the best running back on that team.
Yeah. I think Murray's the man. I think Cook is more like the compliment. Murray's getting
terms. And it even goes back to what they did when they had Singletary back there.
Yeah.
Buffalo is the kind of team that it's pass now, pass always, and we're going to figure it out as we move along.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the same slot compliments that they had years earlier. But, I want to be wrong because Josh Allen is the leader of my fantasy team.
Yeah.
But we're in like-minded on this. I think the Bengals have their number. That's another thing.
I do too. Some people just got it. It's just in their head. I agree. So
this is a bit of an intriguing one here. Monday Night Football. The Bolts visit MetLife. Los Angeles Chargers 3-4 at the 4-3 Jets. They should be 3-4 also.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one. Jets overcame ridiculous injuries and odds, defeating the Giants. God Almighty, 13-10 in overtime in rain-soaked affair. Chargers are coming off their most complete game, a victory over the Chicago Bears. This is all I'm going to say. The Jets' defense is for real. the Chargers are not for real, and do not take too much off of what the Chargers did against a very bad Chicago Bears team. Zach Wilson showed me something last week in the face of adversity, making some very difficult throws. I think the Jets are going to win the turnover margin here, and I think they're going to win by 10. I'm going to go Jets 30, Chargers 20. I think Justin Herbert's going to have a couple of untimely turnovers that are going to turn this game in the wrong direction. And I got the Jets improving to 5-3 without any contribution from Aaron Rodgers yet, and that is a scary thought. But yes, I think the Jets are going to keep the good times rolling, and I do think their offense will be a little more competent because, even if it rains, I can't see it being as horrific as it was last week.
Yep. I'm with you. I've been saying about the Chargers and Justin Herbert, good quarterback, but anyway, I think Zach Wilson. I don't think he's winning games. I think he's just not losing them.
Yeah.
He's just not losing them. Like, look, just don't lose a game. Like with Trent Dilfer, with the Ravens team back when they won the Super Bowl. Just don't lose the game. The defense got this. Just don't lose the game for us. And I think that defense is going to get at Justin Herbert because they get after everybody.
Yeah.
They're going to get after him. And you know how Herbert is. Herbert gets to running around looking crazy. He's going to throw it to the wrong person. He does it every time. Every time.
And I could see a scenario where you might see the Chargers have some success on their side of the ball too, because let's not forget the Jets are really banged up on that O-line. They lost a lot of people in that Giants.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the thing about Chargers, they don't have a good pass defense. They're like ranked 30th, 31st.
That's why I think you can see one of those situations where Dak might actually air it out more than the normal game plan usually.
Right. You remember I had the Jets going to the Super Bowl because they had Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to change it.
Believe it or not, I picked the Niners and the Jets.
I think I had the Jets. I think I had the same thing. I think I had the same thing.
I had the Jets winning it. No.
I had the Jets and the Giants. I wanted the Jets and Giants.
Who?
I wanted them. Yeah, these guys. I wanted them. But my logic, my brain said the 49ers. My heart, but y'all don't listen to my heart. That's why I'm single. I don't listen to my heart. My heart be lying to me. But I'm going with the Jets. I'm gonna say 28-21. I think they're gonna get. I think I'm gonna call 4 sacks on Herbert, 2 picks, maybe a fumble in a pick. But I say 2 turnovers by Herbert.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna knock the hell out of him.
I got to admit,
they're gonna knock the hell out of him.
That Jet defense is good. Final thought, and I'm gonna make it short because I don't want to bitch because
I want you to
Giants are bad. But I want to say this: at the end of that game, the referee is supposed to spot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't like about how that game unfolded was that the center just went about it and was going to snap the ball. Now, this is my question, and I'm not just basing it on the Giants, because I remember, and I'm going to actually defend the Cowboys for a second here, which might sound weird. When they lost to the 49ers 2 seasons ago, that referee was so intent about making sure that everything was spotted so beautifully that Dak couldn't even get the snap off.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that. I saw that referee jetting up there. Like he wanted to make sure that the Jets, he did like one of the things like at communion, like he blessed the football. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to spot the football, not
the ball and get out the way.
And I get it. But you're essentially, it was so sloppy. It looked backyard.
Yeah.
So you're basically just trusting that the center put the ball where it's supposed to be. Make it make sense. No excuses. The New York Giants had no business losing that game, and I'm going to just say it right now. You have an injured kicker who has a bad knee, who has already
surgery.
Yes,
surgery.
He got the first kick, which I say, okay, cool. He earned the second kick. He missed the second kick. Shitty field conditions. It happens. You get the unfortunate injury to Tyrod Taylor. You have a third string unproven quarterback in the form of Tommy DeVito out of Syracuse. Okay, I get all that. You'd say the hell with the pass game. We're going to run. We're going to play field position. We're going to hope for the best. Your bell cow, Saquon Barkley, goes for 128 yards on 30-something carries. And the 1 yard that you need to seal this game, you're bringing back out the kicker?
In the rain.
In the rain! In a completely saturated field.
If Saquon can't get me 1 yard, then okay. But let the man try.
I don't get it. This is my thing, Idris. Even if the Giants got stuffed, it was still the right call.
Right.
Because when you miss that field goal, you're spotting them
Well, you missed the field goal, yeah.
In another direction. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is like you basically went against your entire game plan for the second half of the game.
You run. Then when you need to run, you decide to kick it.
And nobody said they had to run on fourth. Maybe they could have done a bootleg. Maybe they could have. My thing is, you come to New York and you're supposed to be an offensive guru, right? And you mean to tell me that regardless of who's hurt and regardless of who's playing, you don't have one play in your playbook to pick up that damn yard or give yourself the best chance to pick up that damn yard?
You know what? Tommy DeVito may not have thrown many passes, but you know what?
He scored a touchdown for us.
In Syracuse, he ran the ball. Could have ran a bootleg.
Yes,
could have ran a bootleg. Anything.
It was just so upsetting because I'm like, it's not that we lost; it's the way we lost. I mean, you had Jets leaving MetLife Stadium thinking that the game was over.
Dude, when I was watching this game, I seen us going downfield. We're up 10. I said, oh, we got this game.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was over.
I was like, we got it. We get down there, like, okay, we got 1 yard. And then when we missed the field, I'm like, okay, let's just defend the field.
Right.
No way is Zach Wilson going to drive all the way downfield. And I'm watching this. I'm like,
the Kayvon penalty did hurt. I will say.
Yeah, I was like, no way. And I said, when they kicked the field, I said, we're going to lose this game in overtime.
I'll tell you right now, bro. That was my initial thing too. When they tied it, I had that ominous feeling that we were going to lose. And now
I knew we was going. I turned it off. We're going.
This is what pissed me off in a big way. You win the coin toss. Your defense has played lights out for an hour. Your offense of game plan, you've shown them everything you could show them in 4 quarters, and you refuse to pass. Why not defer, give the Jets the ball, and believe in your defense? Then if you want to go bring out your kicker, if you get a good stop, then you get some field position. And then you call on your kicker because now the Jets already had the ball and next score wins.
Oh, we got to go down there, kick it, run it, whatever.
You would want the ball first when you have proven that you literally can't do shit on offense in the passing game. Now, I'll be fair on the other side. This is a fan of me talking. What ruptured that drive before it even started was the illegal.
Yeah,
the illegal motion. But it's just so frustrating because Brian Dable, in my opinion, a guy who in year one was known for his audacity, now it seems like he's afraid.
Right. What are you afraid
of? I'll be honest, Idris. I think he built up enough value and enough trust with the front office because of the impression he made last year by getting his the Giants' first playoff win since Super Bowl 46.
Mm-hmm.
But this comes down to if he loses the locker room.
Yeah.
When I look at what's happening with the Giants, who's the star of the coaching staff? It's Wink Martindale.
Wink.
He's got that defense playing at a high level. And listen, we're not an elite team or anything like that, but this team should be 4-4. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, at worst.
That's all I'm going to say. But when you coach to not win, to not lose, rather, you end up losing.
That's right. You play to win.
You got to.
Herman Edwards, you play to win the game.
Edwards. And that's another ominous fella because that's the original Miracle at the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
Rant over, show over. Great job to the viewers. Thank you so much for watching. This will be dropping at 8:30 in the morning. You'll know that because I'm going to be hitting you with some announcements in just a bit. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast. on YouTube. My skin's hot. I'm so mad. Right now. Till next time, we out.